Winning the first season of The Apprentice, Bill Rancic has given business advice to corporations, to students, contestants on the show, and even Donald Trump himself. Now, in celebration of this week's National Business Week, Small Business Week, he is joining us now to talk small business with you. Bill, good morning.
Oh, good morning.
We are so excited to have you on the show. I watched the first season of The Apprentice when you were on, and I've been a fan since. I know so many other people have. How many times have you been in a meeting or maybe had a friend that says, hey, that's a great idea, but to take that initiative and make that a reality, what probably happens is nothing happens most of the time. So, Bill, what we want to know is how do you turn those ideas into reality? You seem to have a lot of experience in that field.
Well, you're exactly right. You know, a lot of people have great ideas, but most people never act on them, and it's a term called practical execution that I think is so important. You know, my dad, when I was a kid, he always used to say, actions speak louder than words. And boy, was he right, because so many people I meet and I talk to, they want to do things, but they just never can seem to get up and actually do it. So you're right. But at the end of the day, I always tell people, you've got to reverse engineer your life. You've got to say, okay, what I'm doing today, is it going to get me to where I want to be in 20 years? In 20 years, will I be proud of what I've done? Will my kids be proud of me? Will my grandchildren be proud of what I've accomplished? And hopefully the answer is yes, I'm doing things today that are going to get me to where I want to be.
Should you be comfortable just, being okay with taking risk if you have no experience to back it up? Or, how do you give these ideas life without the experience or the financial backing?
Well, it's really a twofold answer that I'm going to give you. One is yes, I think taking risk is important, but you have to manage risk, you have to respect risk, and you have to convert that risk into success. And I always wonder, why are some people successful and many not? And for most, it comes down to one word, and that is fear. So many people are afraid they're going to fail, they're afraid they're going to make a mistake, they're afraid what their friends or colleagues are going to say, that they never even try. And in my opinion, that's the biggest mistake of all, not trying.
Well, and I was just about to ask you that. So it's okay to fail. I think that's nice to hear. You shouldn't be afraid to fail because inevitably you learn from those failures, right?
That's right, yeah. I mean, when I was growing up, it was okay to make mistakes, it was okay to have failures, but it was never okay not to try. And that's probably one of the best traits my mom and dad could have instilled in me. You want to live your life with no regret. You want to look back and say, I've lived the best life I could possibly live. Unfortunately, so many people live with what's called indecision, analysis paralysis. They have one foot on the boat and they have one foot on the pier, and they wonder why they've never gotten anywhere. Well, sometimes a bad decision is better than indecision.
That's so true, and that's probably why, in celebration of this week's National Small Business Week, you are partnering up with AT&T and kind of helping spread the word with that and just helping people out.
Well, I've teamed up with the people at AT&T, and we're really celebrating the small business owner because they're the backbone of our economy. We have 28 million small businesses in America. They employ 63% of all the new folks going into the workforce. It's really a critical part of why America is the greatest country in the world. So we're teaming up and we're trying to arm small business owners with the right tools, saying, wait a minute, there might be a better way, a more efficient way to grow your business, to start your business. Embrace technology, the mobile apps, the mobile websites, connecting with your customers on social media. There are so many great ways that small business owners can now compete with the big boys that it's up to the business owner to take the blinders off and say, well, wait a minute, let me embrace this new way of business and let me make sure that I'm taking advantage of all the opportunities that are out there for me.
Now, would you say that this is just a really good resource for anybody who maybe just has an idea but isn't quite sure what to do with it yet, that this is something that they need to pay attention to, Small Business Week, that being that resource for them?
And really in honor of that, AT&T came up with a online community for small business owners to communicate with each other. It has tools, it has expert advice, it has tips on there. So I encourage anyone who has a small business or who is thinking about opening a small business to go to att.com/bizcircle. And it is a resource that I think is invaluable for anyone who's in the small business community.
We certainly appreciate you sharing your experience with us. What's new with you, though? We see you all over the TV all the time. What's the latest project that you're working on other than Small Business Week?
I'm actually coming to you from the heart of our new project. It's RPM Steakhouse. As you can see behind me, we have the dining room and the bar. We're a couple weeks away from opening, and we think it's going to be great. We're taking the steakhouse to new levels, making it a little bit more modern, a little bit hipper, but still having some of those great items that your traditional steakhouse has on the menu.
How exciting. I can't wait to check it out. You're always just so busy with so many projects. That's what I love about you. Do the wheels ever quit spinning? Or are you constantly thinking and generating these new ideas?
Well, I mean, I've come up with some ideas that are good, some not so good, but I think RPM Steak is really going to be an amazing spot. We're 2 blocks away from our RPM Italian restaurant that has been open about 2.5 years, and we've had Lady Gaga in there all the time, Michelle Obama. We're thrilled with the success of the Italian restaurant, and we think the steakhouse is going to follow suit.
Follow suit? Well, you've just helped me work up an appetite. I'm ready to go eat now.
Well, when you come in, you got to order the Duke. We named the biggest steak on the menu after our son Duke, and if you finish it, I'll buy your dinner.
Okay, the Duke, Bill. I'm gonna hold you to it. Thank you so much again. Small Business Week going on. I love that you said don't be afraid to fail, which is what I think it's an important takeaway from today's interview. So thank you so much for joining us. Do you have a website that we can go to get more information?
att.com/bizcircle. That's great.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. We're going to have all of this information on our website as well, fox4morningblend.com. Give up the guilt. Sometimes it's okay to focus on yourself. Up next, why it's important for us ladies to take a night out.